And I used to be the guy. I'm talking about me, Kevin Adams. I used to be the guy sitting around saying, God blessing everybody but me. And I'm waiting on God. When is it going to be my turn? God said, I'll keep blessing you every year. I said, well, where is it, God? You doing this for him, you doing this for her, and you doing this for that person. God says, you don't go out and get yours. And it wasn't until last year I started walking in the offices. I'm like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? God said we're supposed to have this. And I was amazed. People started saying, okay, it's yours. See, faith without works is dead. You have to put your faith to work. You got to get your faith out of the unemployment line and put it to work. See, you don't know what God will do. See, every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, God says, I have already given it to you, but you'll never know it's yours unless you start walking on some ground. And we have got to activate our faith. He says, the land is yours, but go possess it. So I'm asking this congregation, what is it out there that's yours, but you haven't possessed it yet? No, I'm not going to say that. It could be a nice looking little old fella out there. I'm not going to say it. And God said he'll really make a nice little husband. And God said, I've already given him to you. But God said, every morning you walk past him. God said, you better go on and possess the land. While you out there setting up everybody else. Somebody shout, discern and learn. I've come to understand this. People confuse love and God. Listen to me. Watch this. Pay close attention. Yes, God is love. How many of you know God is love? God doesn't have to love. He is love. Is that not awesome? He doesn't have to do it. God, I want to use good English. He is it. Watch this. But that doesn't mean that everything you love is God. God is love, but it doesn't mean everything you love is God. There are some things I cannot love if I'm in love with God. Woo! Woo! It's getting tight in here. Put up 1 John 2:15. See, that's what my boy Joseph was talking about when Potiphar's wife came on to him. You know what he said? I can't do it. How can I do this thing against my God? He said it ain't got nothing to do with you that you're not cute, that you're not fine. He says, I can't do this and be in love with my God. Love not the what? The world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father. I'm concerned about the church today because the church is trying to love the world and God at the same time. And you cannot love the world and try to hold God's hand. Your relationship with God ought to cost you something. It ought to cost you to give up something every now and then. There ought to be some places you can't go. It ought to be some things you can't do. It ought to be some people you have to walk away from. If any man come after me, let him deny himself and let him pick up his cross and follow me. It ought to require a sacrifice. So my job is to discern how to navigate myself and my relationship with others. And you know what God was telling the children of Israel? I won't be long. He was telling them not to drive these people out and drive these people out. He was saying, because I know you, and I know what you can handle and what you can't handle. Some of us in here ought to know what you can handle and what you can't handle. He says, if you let them people dwell in that land, he says you're going to intermarry with them, and then you're going to fall into idolatry. And then he says, eventually, you're going to be taken into captivity. You missed that. He says, you're going to intermarry with them. You're going to fall in idolatry. He says, and then you're going to be taken into captivity. You missed that. He says, you're going to intermarry with them. You're going to fall into idolatry. He says, and then eventually, he says, you're going to be taken into captivity. He says, so you got to get to the point whereas you're able to say, I love you, but I cannot let you because I love him too much.